Okay. Ciao Elena, ciao.
Good morning, dear Abbas.
Good morning, Elena. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
Well, I'm fine. Today we have 25 degrees. What about Moscow? How many degrees you have?
Moscow have 20 degrees, so it's a good middle of the spring.
That's good. 20 is good. For Moscow, 20 is very good.
Yes, it's very comfortable and very nice.
Very good. So you are in Moscow, aren't you?
Yes, I'm in Moscow now.
Yes, good, very good. I know that you travel very much, but now you're in Moscow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, if you like, we can begin with your questions because I think you know very well Kiarostami, so I'm sure you have very good question to make. So I'm anxious to hear from you.
So I would like to speak with you about your experience, big experience with a very famous film director from Iran, Abbas Kiarostami.
Yeah.
He is a great Iranian director, the main one, and his workshop in Verona with you in Italy was his last workshop for the public. So it's very important in his actually end of the life. And I would like to ask you, what place did Italian culture take in his life and his creativity work?
Yeah, it's a very, very good question because we argued about this question also during the workshop. So I must say that this question is around the very good aspects of our workshop. Actually, we really faced this question during the workshop, as I told you, in Verona. And as you mentioned, really, this was the last workshop of him in public in Europe, in Italy. But I'm afraid that there was another workshop in Havana, in Cuba, before he left us. But it wasn't a very important workshop. But in Europe, as you said, the Verona workshop was the last one. This question you made was also presented by the participant. And he was very clear and very positive about his relation to the Italian cinema culture, especially neorealism, and even with the French Nouvelle Vague. He was very positive about these trends of cinema in the 50s and 60s, particularly regarding the Italian neorealism, that he was very, very proud of it. And he said he spent his younghood going frequently to see the Italian films in the neorealism trend. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. He expected that this trend were very. He admitted that this trend were very good school of cinema in those years, but at the end he added that his cinema should not be seen as a continuation or imitation of the Italian neorealism or from the French Nouvelle Vague. Because what he said, he explained very well, that his work is more about something between documentary and dream. And better to say, is almost amongst the thought and the imagination. Well, while the neorealism was particularly about a hope of social innovation in Italy, almost regarding the future of political issues, but his cinema is not deeply political, even if it is political, but it's not deeply political. Let me say, I was talking about the birth of working class in that period, the construction of infrastructures in Italy, and the making of new industries. These were all about the neorealism, which was very political somehow. Nouvelle Vague was somehow in relation to the rebellion of young people in France, or the destruction of the social taboos But cinema of Kiarostami is different. It's poetical, and at the same time, it's about a documentary film. And at the same time, he introduced the dreams of these collaborators and people who work with him. The originality of Kiarostami is about his ability of changing of a documentary in poetical and dreaming film, or even he was able to put the numbers of his photos, making a video art of them, like the roads, like his film, it's called Roads, or his last video art called 24 frame.
Mm-hmm. That's what I actually want to ask you about, because his ability to mix documentary shooting and fiction in one film to create the one image, creativity image, is very important kind of his work.
Yeah,
it's very not important. Every film director can do it in one film.
Yes, absolutely. This is very good observation of yours. You know, in the time that people in Europe, the critics, were convinced that there will be not any more film of people original in the original issues. The author, they said, the film author is dead. In that time, Kiarostami was able to present this kind of cinema that you mentioned. And it means that documentary, which becomes a dream, it becomes something poetical. And this was what he found in the cinema. That was very new, because really, even the Taste of Cherry, this film, Taste of Cherry, or Close Up, there are documentary films. They are really documentary. But at the same time, he introduced poetical and dreaming aspects in these films. That's why he became very known, very famous in the world, because what he presented was new. Nobody was thinking that. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know how Eisenstein used real people to work as an actors, but there were real people who show real emotions. Did Kiarostami do the same? Did he discuss it with you?
Yeah.
To take real people to the film, to the fiction film.
Yeah. You know, what he said about this issue was this. He said, usually I don't use professional actors, very rarely. But I like very much to work with non-professional actors, because they don't make theater. They don't make a false interpretation, because these people of non-professional aspects, they leave exactly what you say. They leave behind or on face of the camera. That's why he's very, very proud of using these non-professional people in his cinema. But what happened very interesting was about his collaboration with Juliette Binoche. Juliette Binoche is very highly professional, but he told Kiarostami, don't worry, I'm so able in my work that I can behave myself as a non-professional. And he did, and she did that. And she was very, very happy about this. She was very good. She was, I'm talking about a certificate copy that he shot in Italy.
But did he told you how he found these people? For example, he was walking through the streets or somewhere in villages to see the special faces, for example. How did he do it?
Oh, yes, he talked about a very long issue about, let's say, about the person he chose for his film in Tokyo, like Someone in Love. He said he the producer told him to use a very famous actor in Japan. He said, okay, we will ask him to make films of his regular life every day and send to us, and we'll see if he's able to behave natural. And one of the assistants of Kurosawa was helping him in this issue. And after a month, they sent this film to Kiarostami, and they saw that he was, this very famous actor, was behaving very theatrical, very artificial. So they said, okay, we are looking for other issues. And then he find a man that he used to be as, how do you say, in Italian they say comparsa. What do you say comparsa in English? Anyhow, as a comparsa, as not really a professional actor. He was a very old man, and Kiarostami really felt in love with him. He said, this guy is perfect for me. And he asked him to play for him in Someone in Love, without telling him that he was the first actor of the film. And once he found out that he was the first actor, he said, okay, you didn't told me that I will become the first actor, but anyhow, now it's too late. But believe me, I'm not going to work with you anymore because I don't want to be the first actor. I want to be a comparsa.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting because only the great film directors can do it and can do it very naturally and very well organized in the fiction film. Like, for example, Taste of Cherry. I'm sure there are some people, just real people from the society. It's not actors. They look like this exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the question of the Taste of Cherry was his personal problem. Now we can say this. He was somehow concerned with suicide.
Oh my God.
This is something that his son told me. His son, Bahman, told me. His son, his name was Bahman. When I went to Tehran, he came to see me, and we talked about his father very much. And he said, he was concerned with suicide. Anyhow, this is very interesting. So because in this film, he wants to show that the taste of cherry or
exactly
taste of good fruits, sweet fruits, are very good to forget about suicide. Anyhow, that was something very special. And it was a documentary as well, because, the question is that this person in Taste of Cherries was trying to find someone to help him to go to suicide. And this was another issue that Kiarostami was very concerned with. He didn't have the courage to commit suicide personally. He always wants someone to ask to help him to go to suicide. This is something that his son told me.
It's a very special work because it's a very special film because it's like an examination of human soul of this person.
Exactly.
And it's a kind of something special.
Yeah.
And what do you think is Kiarostami's ability to overstep the borders of national art and to open his films to entire world? It's something very difficult for nationalities film directors. Which countries celebrate him most of all?
Yeah, this is also a very good question. But before to answer this question, I want to finish what you asked about what he left to us in this workshop.
Oh, yes.
Okay. He was very concerned with geography of cinema. And he said the geography of cinema is almost forgotten in filmmaking by great filmmakers and directors. But he was very anxious about the cinematic geography, and he explained very well this issue. He said the geography of cinema, we will reach to this geography of cinema if we are able to put the locations in a logical consequence that people can follow the film also by the geography of the film. And if we look at his first film, very short film, 12 minutes, that he made in the Kanun in Tehran, which is about a boy that goes to buy the bread for her mother, for his mother, and the film is called The Bread and the Alley. It is very geographical because he looked at these alleys to find the way, the path that this boy should go to get to come to his home. And he was frightened by a dog, and then they become friends. And the same thing happened after 45 years in Like Somebody Love, which is again as a very geographical cinematic issue in it, which was very important. So as you asked, what he left in Verona, he was insisting very much about the geographic of cinema or cinematic geography. This was very good. Although we gave the award, the prize of Tenstar Community to him, because as you asked me, the ability to put the human interior values at the center of art, one of the issues he was very anxious about. Elimination of the boundaries between different geographies and cultures, and approaching to the logic of the different arts, keeping in mind their interactions. So this might be a brief answer to your question, but the question you made is very important because we talk about this thing about in this workshop. So, what would you like me to answer to you?
I just want you to ask which countries are celebrating most of all Abbas Kiarostami, because he became very famous world film director, which is very important for nationalities.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he actually was the first one which was celebrated by the world from Iran.
Yeah, right. You're right. I think we should first talk about the timing in cinema, because I think you were somehow curious about the timing of the cinema, and then I will answer to your question, because there is a chapter in my book which is entitled Short Stories with Concise Timing. Why? This is because he wanted to recognize that his storytelling was always very short. Usually, the stories based on the sharp events of 1 or 2 days, let's say 24 hours, not more, as well as like his Someone in Love, which was about 2 days, a story of 1 night and 2 days. Therefore, this can be the reason, because the film can be understood as a single image.
Exactly.
Because the time is very short. So
exactly.
Okay.
Like Taste of Cherry is 1 day.
Yeah, exactly. But this was very strong in the last film, Like Someone in Love in Tokyo. That really was long, a very specific path. And in this path, you can see the timing, which was very short, as he wanted. What he said he wanted to make the time near to zero. So this was possible in his Shirin, or in his last video art, which is 24 frame. But in other films, a little bit of timing is necessary, because how do you follow the film if there is no timing in it? But his timing is very short. It's very, very brief. I should say that his film timing was in many circumstances captured from his cinematic approach in terms of geography of filming. Unavoidably, he argued the links between his first short film of 20 minutes, as I told you, The Bread and the Alley, and the last one, He's Like Someone in Love in Tokyo, after more than 45 years. The handwriting is the same. After 45 years, the handwriting of two films are the same, both as timing and as cinematic geography, which always is related to the timing and vice versa, not only timing and geography, but geography or time. This result is a time capturing always in relationship to the other components, such as sounds, locations, geography, and even the script of the film. So he was able to make interactions between all these components in order to make a film.
And by the way, I have a question according to this. As we know, he used real people as an actors and put them to some circumstances of the film. And how do you think? Maybe he told you himself, did he give them the real dialogue to learn, or he just put them together in the circumstances and then shoot?
Okay. Well, this is another issue which was very well discussed during the workshop, because William Schimmel, who was the main actor, non-professional of certificate copy, he participated to the workshop. He came from London, he came to Verona to see Abbas and to participate to the workshop. And he wasn't a professional actor. He was a singer of opera. So they met each other in Aix-en-Provence, in the theater of Aix-en-Provence, because Abbas was directing the Così fan tutte. Così fan tutte, a great work of opera, and they know each other during this work, and Abbas asked William Schimmel to participate as a non-professional actor to his film in Italy. Schimmel said, okay, I will do, because he was thinking that he wanted to be as a comparsa. But in reality, after he found out that he was going to make the role of a principal man actor of the film together with Juliette Binoche, then what happened? He said, okay, I was in a kind of anesthetic issue of my life. I couldn't understand what was going on, but I tried to make my job as well as possible. So I'm going to answer to your question. He said he was going, he always learned the dialogue first very well, so he could say what he had to say, and the Kiarostami was following him very well, and he done a very good job at the end. His job was excellent. So Kiarostami said, you see, even a non-professional actor is able to present a very good job if you know how to treat him well.
Exactly. Exactly,
Yes.
because the command is professional, you know, it's
Yeah.
It's a kind of this thing, because when it's not professional command, not professional staff and not professional film director and so on, it's impossible. But when all the staff is professional, they absolutely know what they want to get.
Yeah. Yes, certainly, yeah. So now I will go to your question about his recognition, worldwide recognition. You know, also we discussed about this issue during the workshop. There were many paths in which he became very famous in the world, which is very difficult to find out because there were very different things. One thing I was aware about it, it was in 1990, between 1990 and 1995, that cultural attaché of France in Iran, our friend, Mr. Eric Fournier, that now he's an ambassador in Yugoslavia, who continued to be interested in Kiarostami cinema. This attaché, by that time, Kiarostami was famous, but not very famous in the world. And once he, Mr. Eric Fournier, and his wife, Florence, they told me that they are collaborating with the very prestigious French magazine, Avant-Garde, which was Le Cahiers du Cinéma. And they said Le Cahiers du Cinéma is preparing an issue about Kiarostami, and they want to send as much as possible his works to Paris. So they asked me to talk with Mr. Kiarostami and ask his permission in order to send materials, films of his cinema as much as possible to the magazine, Le Cahiers du Cinéma. But Kiarostami didn't accept in the first approach because he said, no, he is not very interested on international issues. He wants to work in Iran, etc. But we told him, look, this doesn't mean that they will take the chance of your films to put in the magazine. So let us send them and we see what will happen. So at the end, he accepted. After some weeks, after 1 week, I saw Eric again. He was very, very happy. I said, why you are so happy? He said, because in France, the Cahiers du Cinéma, in the number of 493, which was in July 1995, they put even the cover of this issue to Kiarostami, and they entitled this magazine Kiarostami le Magnifique in French, Kiarostami le Magnifique. So we were very happy about this. And then I went to see this Cahiers du Cinéma in Verona, in the library of Cinema Club. And it was very, very interesting. I put that in my book, I don't know in which pages. Anyhow, you will find this in my book. And Cahiers du Cinéma was about more than 20 pages about Kiarostami, 25 pages about Kiarostami. And we were very happy about this. In fact, it was French first, and then Italy, and then Europe. And subsequently, later, many of non-Western countries were interested in his works, and they pay attention to his works, more than in Iran, which was his native country. These countries, I told you, there were South Korea, Japan, Cuba, China, Thailand, and Turkey, and later even Dubai in Emirates. They pay attention to his work more than Iran. This is very, very curious. So I think this is the answer to your question about why he became so famous. But Italy and France, they made a very, very important role initially to introduce him to the world, and then other countries.
So, and I have one more last question, if it is possible. Do you have plans to translate your book to other languages?
Oh yes. I told you, now the French issue is almost ready. The French issue. This is the Italian issue, because you know the workshop was in Italian.
Can you put it up, please?
Yes, here.
The book.
Yes. And then now we have finished or almost finished the French. There is an English translation that we should look at it again. And we begin even to translate it to Farsi. Someone introduced me two people, one for Japanese language and another for German language. And I told you this because this book was rather at a good path, and people were happy about it. We made many interviews like this one with you, and so I think people are interested about this film, about this book, because he was really somehow, maybe he knew that he didn't have a very long time to live, so he really talked deeply about his cinema. So it's a good book.
Yes,
I'm sure you are learning Italian. Maybe you prefer the Italian version, but if you like, we'll send you the French or English version if you like.
Italian is original.
Yes. I know you are learning Italian. What do you think about SanGio Film Festival? I was suggesting to Ugo to make it online, if there was not possibility of seeing each other again.
I think maybe it's possible to postpone it to autumn or no? Ugo, yeah. don't want?
Yeah, other thing is, I will tell you something which is not very happy, that Santa Maria in Chiavica, that salon, that place is not available anymore.
No, maybe could be.
Maybe could be. But in the time being is not available.
It was a perfect place.
Yeah. So one possibility was to make the cinema, the festival here in my place.
But it's difficult. Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
In your studio?
Yes, because they've tried the 28th of December. They made here the birthday of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
They made here. It was very successful. But anyhow, we should plan. I'm not sure if it's possible, but it might be possible. Anyhow, we don't want to lose. Or, as you said, it's best thing to postpone. Postpone is a good idea.
We need to see the situation, because for me, what the difficulty is our connection, because Russia have no air connection for now, and we don't know when it stopped in Moscow. When Russian will open our connection, I don't know. Maybe the earliest time in July we plan the earliest, but maybe it will be September.
I will talk to Hugo one of these days, because he also made the interview about this book with me, and I will talk with him. We'll see what we can do. The best thing is to postpone, but even if we postpone, we should find a new place.
We should also try with the administration to do it in the piazza. You remember the piazza, how nice it was?
But also Piazza del Signoria
was very nice. Piazza, do you remember? Here, Piazza, Santa Maria in Chiavica, all this is good. Good.
Abbas,
Okay. Yeah.
Abbas, by the way, we should think about a Russian version of your film, of your book.
Yes, when you are ready, we can make a festival here in our place.
Because Abbas Kiarostami not so well known in Russia through the students and art people and professional cinematographers, but it's his life art is very good for it, and we need first one book about Abbas Kiarostami in Russia.
Well, if you have the possibility to translate the book in Russian, it's a very good idea.
Let's think about this, because I feel a kind of interest in this, and maybe we will find with you the way how to realize it, because I'm very good with the Union of Cinematographers of Russia, and they have a place where to sell the books and for cinematographers, professionals, and it's a kind of interesting to make a presentation of the book
Yeah.
in Moscow.
I don't know. Maybe these people, they speak English. If they speak English, the English issue is enough. But if you want to translate it in Russia, it's a very good idea.
No. In Russia, only Russian language. I tell you the truth. If you want to be popular, you should come with Russian language, with book on Russian language, or with film on Russian subtitles minimum. English, it does not work in Russia.
Okay. Good idea.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm very happy.
Elena, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Elena.
Yes. Hope to see you soon in Verona. Very soon.
Okay, me too.
Okay.
Let's be strong to wait the happy life again.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I miss Italy, you and Verona very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
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 Bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Okay. We did it.
You're a
So, okay, was it okay?